First tonight at 5, we are 18 hours into a government shutdown, and already we're seeing the impact here in Dane County.
Plus, deaths related to alcohol are on the rise in Wisconsin. We'll take a closer look at the numbers and hear from experts about that increase.
I'm Armand Rahman. Do you think you have what it takes to make the wheels on a school bus go round and round? Find out at the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District's Drive a Bus recruitment event.
And that's all ahead on News 3 Now at 5. And first at 5, we begin with some breaking news. Monona police have released video and referred charges to the district attorney against a tow truck driver who seriously injured a police officer during a chase that ended in a crash.
Our Maddie Himes joins us now with that video and more information about the driver who faces nearly 40 charges. Maddie?
Susan and Eric, Monona Police, the Wisconsin State Patrol, and the Dane County Sheriff's Office are referring 7 felony charges to the Dane County District Attorney for Christopher P. Bruger, among dozens of other charges. On Saturday, police say Bruger led officers on a chase that led to a crash where a Madison officer suffered serious injuries with his canine in the car. Police say the incident started just before 2 when a caller reported a driver operating recklessly on Highway 51, hitting multiple vehicles. After a chase crossing several jurisdictions near the bridge on Terminal Drive, the driver swerved into oncoming traffic, hitting Officer Ryan Kimberly's squad car. As of Monday, Officer Kimberly is still in the hospital in stable but serious condition. This is a rapidly developing story, and we'll continue to bring you updates as we get them. There's a fundraising page for Officer Kimberly that has already raised $72,000. You can find that link under this story on channel3000.com.
All right, Maddie, thank you. The deadline to keep the government open has come and gone, and we're now in the 21st government shutdown since 1976.
Today, Dane County Executive Melissa Agard says she will recommend the October 23rd Dane County Board meeting that hiring is frozen, and that freeze is because of the disruption in Washington and Dane County's standing $31 million structural deficit.
In a statement, Agard says, quote, "The political chaos in Washington has thrown a cloud of uncertainty over our local budget. We cannot ignore the risk of disrupted federal funding and the ripple effects that will be felt in our community. The freeze would apply to all non-essential vacancies with exemptions for critical public safety and frontline service delivery positions." The last and longest shutdown actually happened in President Trump's last term, starting December 22nd and ending January 25th in 2018, 35 days later. This time, tens of thousands of civilian federal workers in our state could be affected by either being furloughed or told to work without being paid. Social Security, the post office, food assistance programs, air traffic control, and many other federal entities will operate like normal. However, the longer it goes on, the more likely people are to call out or quit without being paid. This afternoon, the Senate voted on the same 2 bills that failed to pass last night, one a Republican measure, the other a Democrat, and those both failed.
Could have voted last night to eliminate shutdowns for all time. That was my Eliminate Shutdowns Act. Just would establish 14-day rolling continuing appropriations until Congress gets its act together and starts passing appropriation bills.
Now, the Senate is not expected to hold any additional votes on funding until at least Friday.
Housing continues to be one of the most, if not the most significant issue for Madison and Dane County residents. And according to local housing service providers, homelessness is a growing problem in our community. This year, nearly 800 people were identified as homeless across Dane County. With the exception of 2021, that is the highest count in 10 years. Dane County Executive Melissa Agard says resources to get and keep people in housing are very limited.
Can we do more? Our hope is that we can, but we have the challenges of mandates from the state and federal government, as well as a limited amount of resources that we can invest in this.
Tonight, in a special report, our Maddie Himes takes a deep dive into housing insecurity in our community and the money that we need to address the problem. Her full report airs tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Well, let's get a check of your first one. Forecast meteorologist Blaze Keller joining us with more on this warm weather and a possible record breaker, Blaze.
That's right, Eric. Susan, it is beautiful outside. The birds are singing. It's not as hot as where we were yesterday, but we're still above average, and we're going to continue to warm on up as we head closer to the weekend. We're taking a live look there on an Upland Hill sky cam. Temperatures across southern Wisconsin in those 70s and 80s. If we take a look at our temperatures, again, we're looking at the 70s and 80s right now, so a little bit cooler than where we were, say, 24 hours ago. We can thank the cloud cover that has moved on in, but it's going to be moving on out as we head into not only Thursday, but stay out of here as we go into Friday as well. So a little bit cooler than yesterday, but it is still a very comfortable day and afternoon nonetheless. When we look ahead to the weekend, both Saturday and Friday, we could be setting new record high temperatures, especially in the Madison area for those days. We're looking at the upper 80s, and we couldn't rule out a few low 90s there across southwestern Wisconsin and along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Now, how long does the heat stick around for, and is there any rain in the forecast? Because we're starting to get to the point where we could use some rain, to say the least. We'll take a look at both of those in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. The proposed Line 5 pipeline reroute by Enbridge is drawing opposition from environmentalists, tribal leaders, and local communities across Wisconsin. Those opposed to the plan say the project threatens pristine wetlands, the Bad River watershed, and the largest wild rice bed on the Great Lakes region. Opponents warn that a spill could contaminate Lake Superior as well, which provides drinking water for millions.
I am urging the courts, our state leaders, our federal government, I'm urging literally anyone in power to protect the land of the Bad River tribe, protect Lake Superior, and protect my future by shutting down the Line 5 pipeline.
Enbridge, the company looking to build the line, says it stands behind its 6 decades of safe operations and believe the project is the best way to ensure Michigan's energy supply. The decision now rests with the courts and state officials. A Madison police detective has earned international recognition for his role in convicting a dangerous online predator. Detective Sergeant Mark Hull received the National Crime Agency Award from the UK for his work connecting a local case to British investigators. This investigation started back in 2019 in Madison when Hull worked with a local teen victim and with further investigation found a second suspect overseas. British police say that Hull's discovery proved vital in bringing charges against a man by the name of Kevin Newsom, who police say is a known offender with a history of cruelty and exploitation. Newsom was charged in March of this year with blackmail and child sexual exploitation.
Well, according to the CDC, alcohol-related death rates in Wisconsin are high.
Well, Jalen Banks spoke with the Wisconsin Policy Forum on these numbers, and he joins us now with a breakdown. Jalen?
Eric and Susan, the Wisconsin Policy Forum, found that alcohol-related deaths in our state are much higher than the national average. Earlier, I spoke with them on their findings. According to the CDC, alcohol-related deaths spiked during the pandemic when we saw alcohol consumption increase during that time. The Wisconsin Policy Forum says as of 2024, the national average of alcohol-related deaths is 13.9 per 100,000 residents, and our state average is at 18.2. Despite remaining higher than the national average, there has been a steady decline post the pandemic.
Something has happened here over the last 10 to 15 years where our state's rate has risen significantly above the national rate. We don't profess to, have all the answers to why that is, but just the fact that that divergence has happened between our state and the rest of the country is another finding that we wanted to highlight.
High rates of alcohol-related deaths is not just a problem for Wisconsin and our part of the country. Neighboring states face higher rates as well. However, there is one particular issue Wisconsin faces that is worse than anywhere else in the country, and that is the rate of alcohol-related deaths for Black residents.
Where at a national level, Black Americans are significantly less likely than white Americans to die of alcohol-induced causes. But then you look at, those rates in Wisconsin, and the opposite is true.
However, locally, we're seeing an effort to try to reduce these types of deaths for all people.
This is something that we continuously talk with in schools, we talk with college students, but also while out in the community. Now, for the jail, we focus on the treatment side of things with our Alcoholics Anonymous, our Narcotics Anonymous, and other resources for individuals while they're in our custody.
Now, if you would like to see the full study, you can find a link to it on our website. Just find the story. Just head on over to channel3000.com.
Jalen, thank you. Jane Goodall, the conservationist known worldwide for her groundbreaking chimpanzee field research and environmental advocacy, has died at the age of 91. While living among chimpanzees decades ago, Goodall documented them using tools and doing other activities that were once thought exclusive to people. Her research also documented distinct personalities, showing the emotional and social complexity of all animals. Her groundbreaking research, books, and global advocacy earned her top honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
The contract between Ascension, Wisconsin and United Healthcare has run out. That means those with United Health Insurance will no longer be considered in-network at Ascension hospitals. The two sides are reportedly at odds over pay rate increases. Ascension says the insurer's proposed rates do not cover rising costs and inflation. United Healthcare calls Ascension's demands, quote, unsustainable, and offered extensions to maintain coverage. Patients receiving care through Ascension can still be seen on an out-of-network basis or explore other options during open enrollment.
The Madison Museum of Contemporary Art is getting ready to host its annual art market. It's coming up next weekend on October 11th and 12th. The market is set to host around 40 vendors this year from around the area, including Mystery Wick, Groovy Flower Art, and Bernie and Zuzu, and a host of other local and regional vendors. All of the money helps keep MMOCA free.
So we have an event coming up Saturday and Sunday, October 11th and 12th, called Art Market, and it's sort of a holiday art and gift fair that we're having here at the museum. So 100% of the proceeds from Art Market actually goes to fund the free admission to the museum that we have year-round.
In addition to the art, guests can also listen to live music inside the museum from 10 to 2. You can find out more about the art market on our website, channel3000.com. Well, Blaze Keller returns next with a complete look at your October 1st warm forecast.
Doesn't feel like October. It is a bye week for the Packers. Why the head coach may not be all that excited about it. Jason Wilde reports from Green Bay next. And steady gains across the board midweek trading on Wall Street. The Dow adding more than 43 points, and NASDAQ up 95 and change. The S&P 500 gains almost 23. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, the Packers are off this week after Sunday night's tie in Dallas. They're sitting with a 2-1-1 record through week 4.
And while rest always can be a good thing, our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde tells us head coach Matt LaFleur may not be a fan of the timing.
I feel like no matter who the Green Bay Packers coach is, every year at the bye, he says, oh, the bye comes at a really good time. We didn't hear that from Matt LaFleur this week, and there's a reason for it. Week 5, after 4 games, is the earliest any team can have a bye. The Packers, the Falcons, the Steelers, and the Bears have this week off, and Matt LaFleur would prefer it if it was a little bit later in the schedule, but it's not. Now, he's had this early of a bye once before, back in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. He also had late byes before. A week 13 bye a couple of years ago, a week 14 bye, the latest you can possibly have it with only 4 games remaining back in 2022. Last year, it was after 9 games. It was in week 10, so the virtual midpoint of the season. Matt LaFleur knows that this will be challenging now, though, because the bye is so early. 13 games in 13 weeks. We will see how the Packers fare on that very challenging road to what they hope is the postseason. We'll have full coverage of the Packers throughout the bye week at channel3000.com for free. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers our Packers coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thanks. And so it's a week off before a Sunday, October 12th game with the Bengals. That's at Lambeau Field. Cincinnati without quarterback Joe Burrow due to toe surgery. That'll be a 3:25 kickoff.
Let's get a check on the weather now. It is another warm day in southern Wisconsin. We might even break a weather record this weekend. Here's Blaze with the details.
That's right. If you have enjoyed the comfortable temperatures over the last few days, we're set to get into those summer-like temperatures, maybe just that little last bit of summer here before we really ease into fall as we go into not only Friday, but further into Saturday as well. Tonight, we're going to be partly cloudy. Those clouds clear on out in time for Thursday. We stay sunny for Friday and Saturday. and then maybe we start to squeeze out some much needed rain by the end of the weekend. So the possible record heat that we could see as we go into the end of the work week and into Saturday, forecasting 2 87-degree days. The record high on Saturday is 87 degrees, but the record high on Friday's date, 85. So any temperature at or greater than 85 and 87 degrees respectively is going to be a new record high for the Madison area for both Friday and Saturday. And we have the makings to get there. We've got dry air, and we're going to have southerly winds on the backside of a high pressure system, as well as ahead of our next low. So we have this almost tunnel, this highway of southerly winds that are going to continue to bring up that warmth as we head not only into Friday, but Saturday as well. Now that low pressure system eventually will make its way eastward. As it does, it will pull down some cooler air in time to start off next week. It may also bring us our first next chance for some much needed rain after we settle into those 80s tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. We just talked about it, and then there's that cool down as that low pressure system moves on out of here. And it doesn't look like, at least as we go into the middle of next week, we get back into those 80s, let alone the mid to upper 80s. We're going to stay more seasonable, but still trending higher than average, or warmer than average, I should say, even when we cool down starting Tuesday through the upcoming weekend. So that low pressure system, when it finally starts to move eastward, sometime Sunday night into Monday, that could bring us our next chance for rain. We kind of need it, to say the least. But I'm going to talk about why we've had a little bit of a padding. We've had sort of a rainy day rain fund over the last couple of months here across southern Wisconsin. Here are all of the counties covered here by News 3 Now and the surplus of rain for each county from January through August. This truly has really saved our drought conditions from getting worse across southern Wisconsin with the lack of rain this September. Madison, we only had 5 days in which rain fell. So we are really thankful that we picked up over 3 inches of rain from January through August. Iowa County, we have over 6 inches of rain, a padding to really help us during these dry stretches. However, places in Greene County as well as Vernon County, we only have 1 inch or so of rain of padding. So we're likely going to be starting to see some drier than normal conditions set up across parts of central and southern Wisconsin as we go into not only October, but maybe into early to mid-October especially. Once we start to get the atmosphere moving a little bit more, we should start to get some more rain chances. But again, this is the reason why, despite this dry September, we really have not seen those drought conditions set up. So thankfully, it's been a rainy year up to this point. Unfortunately, just really wasn't rainy in September. But speaking of rain, it does look to return Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then maybe as we go into the second half of our upcoming work week as well. Again, enjoy the 80s if you're a fan, because they are going to be going away as we head into the middle of next week.
All right, Blaze, thank you. And we are closing in on the end of our Coats for Kids collection drive with a huge jump in our daily total. We now have 2,916 donations. A big shout out to Subaru and the Operation Warm National Nonprofit Organization for donating 408 brand new winter coats to give to area kids in need. If you have a winter coat, mittens, snow pants, snow suits, or hats that you no longer need, we'd love to give them to someone who might otherwise need them. And drop your donation off at any Clinky location. We'll make sure it gets in the hands of a child or adult who really needs it. Visit channel3000.com/coats for kids for how to donate and also our distribution times and locations.
Still to come tonight at 5, Arman Rahman gets behind the wheel of a school bus. No cause for concern.
That makes me a little alarmed.
He tells us why the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District is holding this annual event.
And why this not so welcoming art piece in Appleton has been ranked among the ugliest statues in the country. That's ahead at 5.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, here's a question for you. Have you ever wondered what it takes to get behind the wheel of a school bus? Wonder no more.
Remember the big steering wheels they always had? Arman Rahman is all set to tell us at the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District's Drive a Bus event. So Arman, how does this compare to one of our news cars? Any similarities here?
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger there, Eric, than our news cars that we have. And you know what? This is either the beginning of a nightmare or a dream for you. I'm about to pilot you in Middleton Cross Plains Area School District's first and only electric school bus. So mind the gap. We're going to close the doors here. All right, and I believe we just do start it into drive. Now we press that big yellow button. All right, let's go. All right, we're moving. There we go. So this is a Drive a Bus event. It's the second year that they're doing it, and it's actually for recruitment. They want to make sure that they have enough bus drivers here to staff the entire fleets so they can have morning and afternoon bus rides for the kids, as well as any weekend field trips. You know, everything that a school bus needs. Oh, this is a bit of a tight squeeze here, but we're making it work. All right. I have Dan, our instructor extraordinaire, watching me, making sure that I don't go full GTA mode in this right now. And as the kids say, whip these corners. These are some very tight corners, though. It's amazing how much you don't appreciate having a short vehicle that isn't, you know, roughly 40 feet long. But this is a very nice school bus. I'm going to honk the horn here a little bit. It is beautiful. We're going to go pedal to the metal. Just kidding, Dan. We're not going to go that fast. Yeah, this is fully electric. Has a really good range as well. And again, this is a recruitment tool because they need about 5 more bus drivers here for the rest of the school year. Otherwise, they're pulling from office staff to staff all of their routes. So here's the transportation manager, what he had to tell me about recruiting for these events every year.
We're 4 to 5 routes short, or drivers short. Okay. And hopefully with this event, able to hire a little more and maybe break some routes apart and shorten some things up and eliminate some overcrowding issues on a couple of buses. But it is, you know, hoping to get 5 or 6 bus drivers out of this event.
And once again, this event goes from 5 to 7 here at Deming Way. You can come by and take a couple laps here in a school bus just like this one to see if you have what it takes to make the wheels on the bus go round and round. And you know what? Gabe, my photographer, he's not holding on for dear life too badly, so I think I did a pretty good job. Of course, did not have to break really 20 miles per hour here in the parking lot. But yeah, we'll be here all here at 6 o'clock as well to see who else comes by to, you know, come here and see if they have what it takes to be a school bus driver for the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District. For now, reporting live in Middleton, Armand Rahman, a little bit overwhelmed. News 3 Now.
Well done,
Impressive,
Armand.
wasn't it? I think they've
impressive.
got one of their recruits right there. Yeah. Part-time on the side job for him.
You're hired, Armand.
Who do you think was more nervous, our news management or our insurance agent?
Good question.
Very well done. I love how quiet the buses are, too.
A final check.
Thanks for joining us.
The CBS Evening News is coming up next. We'll see you back here at 6.